Brian Sebastian, movie reviews and more, worldwide TV entertainment, womenontv.tv, iTube 247 out of Franklin, Tennessee. So, today's a special show. We got 3 shows going today. I've been wanting to get this whole gang together for a long time, Victoria. Terry Marie is running late. She wants to be on the other shows. Victoria, I interrupted her schedule, but I have to have my number 2 here because when it comes to singing, she is it. It's about a better tomorrow. It's about everything like that. So with everybody, let's start way over in the corner. Digger, who are you? Where are you coming from?
Hey, B. I'm a transmedia, omnimedia artist, director, writer. I don't call myself an actor, but I showed up in a few things.
That's true. Nick.
I'm an actor in real life.
Hey, I'm Nick. I'm a marketing expert with more focused on paid advertising and social media growth. Lately, I've been getting more into NFTs, which is a lot of fun.
See, and the strange thing, this is funny, Victoria. These guys are so subdued over there, but behind the scenes, they're like working things. Digger's got his iPad on the bottom. You don't know what he's doing, but I kind of know what he's doing.
What is he doing?
Promise I'm not working.
He's doing all kinds of things.
you
He's
my
doing
full
everything
attention. I'm not
outside the
working.
U.S. right now. Kelly, talk about who you are.
Yes.
I've been waiting for her for years. Everybody knows this for years.
Oh my
It's all about
goodness.
CuteBooty.
I'm so sorry. I feel like I failed you.
No. You guys are busy. We're going to get into that. Talk about who you are and
Okay.
why CuteBooty is so important.
Okay, so I'm Kelly Nishimoto. I'm a TV host and a fashion designer. I created a concept called CuteBooty Lounge in my garage a million years ago. And we have a trademark on a pocket that makes your booty look adorable. And it's all about the visual of your booty. It doesn't necessarily pad it. But why it's important is because we want women to love themselves and love your booty, embrace your body, love your booty.
Embrace your body, love your booty.
So the other person who I thought was interesting, because if I'm correct, he kind of inspired you in a way, right? Anthony.
He inspires me every day.
All right, Anthony, you're like Digger behind the scenes in a way, but you're not really.
Not really. I would say that I am the right cheek of CuteBooty Lounge.
I'm the right.
I mean,
Exactly.
to explain it and keep it simple, she makes them and I sell them.
Got it.
You know, here's one of the things I like about this pairing, because it took me a while. Anthony started picking up the phone. We started talking, and I knew they were busy, but I'm like, I got to get this brand out there. Women love this brand. You had one of our other co-hosts, DJ Badass, open your store. You didn't know she was in line with us, did you?
Oh, I didn't. No.
Yeah, she just gave birth about a week ago. So she's been in. She's one of our things. And then I'm like, I had to get Victoria to come down. So she canceled one of her schedules. I'm like, because Victoria's got one of those booties, so she loves CuteBooty. So that's what it's all about. All right, talk about who you are, where you're coming from.
I'm Victoria Renee Hand, Queen Vic, and I'm a recording artist.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes, she's more than that, though. So, all right, so where's your song, A Better Tomorrow, playing right now?
Yeah, I have a song called A Better Tomorrow. It's playing on CNN 24/7.
Exactly. Where did we find the song? Hollywood Film Festival?
Yes,
Edie
we
Hand.
did.
Talk about that. We
Yeah,
got to
it's
talk about
actually,
Edie.
I forgot. Yeah, that's how Brian and I first met. We were
6 years ago now.
6 years? That's crazy. Yeah, we were doing a short film at the Hollywood
Documentary
where were we?
called The Last
Ride.
Right.
And I...
Part of the Elvis Presley brand,
Yeah.
St. Jude's Hospital. All your proceeds went to St. Jude's. Very, very important because
Yeah.
we love that.
Yeah.
Terry
proceeds.
Thomas,
Yeah.
Terry Thomas, Danny Thomas, Marlo Thomas, all that whole family, that whole brand, that whole
Started
thing is important to what we do.
St. Jude, yeah. Terry Thomas is my husband's godmother, which is just cool. I'm like, how did you get that? Like, that's awesome. But
We might tell you why, but no, we're not today.
Not today.
No.
Another time. So yeah, A Better Tomorrow. All the proceeds. It's on all of the DSPs. It's on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. All the proceeds are going to St. Jude Children's Hospital. And yeah, give it a like, give it a listen. Let me know what you guys think.
Absolutely. Diggers, talk about what you're creating now, because you got your show coming up starting this Thursday.
We do.
It's called Divided United. Talk about how that name came in. Why is that important? Nick is going to be involved with what the stuff?
Yeah, so Divided United came about during COVID. My partner and one of my best friends in the world, Ken Gust, we were talking for a long time about doing a show. And COVID obviously created circumstances where everybody needed a voice. You know, everybody was isolated, everybody wanted to talk. So that's what Divided United is. It's really we're together apart. You know, we're alone
cute.
together, right?
Divided United. Wait.
I might change it. That's better. Divided United.
Hold on, that's wrong.
That's a beautiful thing. So So yeah, it sort of grew out of that. We shot 30 episodes in my studio,
Whoa.
which was like, at the time we were shooting 3-hour episodes. These long dissertations. They were fun. I mean, they went quick. We had amazing guests. We had scientists and politicians and artists, and it's not really a pop culture show. It's a state of the world show, and I wanted to bring in as many international guests as possible.
Cool.
So I mean, nothing beats this human interaction, right? Nothing
Of
beats
course.
like sitting down with people and really sharing
No.
energy.
It's a different thing.
But you got people in Dubai and China and Japan, and it's just not possible to get everybody in the same room.
But
so
it feels close, right? It does feel close.
Now it
Obviously,
does.
this is better. But I remember talking to my family on Zoom. I'm like, man, I feel like you guys are right here.
Right.
You know?
Right. And that is sort of the sales angle for a lot of the new things you see popping up at Best Buy, right? Like the
Yeah.
simplicity of instant communication.
Right.
Camera,
Right.
equipment, sales.
Well, you're being targeted now, right? So
Yeah.
the camera's zooming in and following you around, and it's
True.
all like natural movement,
Yeah.
right? So
Like,
you really are in the
No
moment.
one asked for HD. Like, we didn't need that. Like, I was fine being a little pixelated.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
right. I bring my own Vaseline.
Oh my god.
But when you have that many people in the room who are from so many different cultures, it's almost like a jam session, right? Like
Absolutely.
It's you schedule 30 minutes, and the next thing you know, 5 hours have gone by because it's just
It
so
goes
it
fast.
flows.
Yeah,
Watch
absolutely.
this. It goes so fast. You're like, oh, we've got like an hour segment. We're like, I feel like I've been sitting here for 15
And
minutes.
Right. Well,
minutes,
when we were
dinner time.
structuring the show, I was like, 50 minutes. Can we do that in 50
Yeah.
minutes? And we can. The whole idea is that you should leave people wanting to hear more, not being like, when the fuck is this
Dragging
over?
on. Yeah,
Right.
totally. Yeah.
So so we have a lot of amazing guests lined up. I mean, in the comic book, pop culture, music, entertainment world, those are the easier connections to bring in great people. When to step into politics and science and religion and a lot of other places, and not, sort of like politically correct but not combative. Get
Okay.
people into the room to have conversations about what's going on and how we can make things better, or if we should make things better.
Nick, talk about this. Talk about being from outside the U.S., but also coming into the U.S., being here at the Mike House to where you are now, because you've got for some strange reason, I see you being the speaker for not only for Digger Show, but what we're doing for movie reviews and more as we're combining everything. You're like that low-key guy who's really just going to explode.
Secret weapon.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. My pleasure. First
Did I
of
put you
all.
on the spot? Well, that's what we do.
Yeah.
No, it's so
Welcome
much
to the
fun.
hot seat, babe.
Like the most fascinating thing for me is I'm in a room full of people with stories to tell. Like I can walk up to anyone and be like, hey, what's your story? And it's something that I can always learn from, get excited by. And just coming from outside the United States, I used to be in Canada, although I'm like Indian.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I grew up in India till I was 18, and after
Oh,
that,
wow.
so like I'm Indian,
Yeah.
I'm from a totally different culture and all of that. And I face this even when I'm talking with my father on the call. It's like he doesn't get some things, cause and I don't blame him for that, cause he gave me those opportunities instead of taking them for himself. But your mind expands. It's exposure.
When you say he doesn't get some things, what exactly are you talking about?
So before I went to Canada or came to the United States, I had this kind of feeling because I was frustrated in a sense with my personal life back home.
Right.
And I felt like with my impression of what the Western world would look like based on media and all of
Yeah.
that, like, oh, okay, people aren't that dumb there, it'll be fun. And
Yeah.
then the first lesson that I learned was a human being is a human being anywhere you go.
Period.
True.
Celebrity,
Well
not
said.
celebrity. We're more the same than we are different.
Right.
Yeah.
And it really forces you to think on some issues from a very deep perspective, and history starts to make sense. A lot of conflict, civilization, how these things come about, or the political issues that people talk about, it kind of enables you to form your own educated opinion, become more cultured in that sense, where you're like, okay, you can see the nuanced differences that you may not have been able to see before. And it doesn't really have to do with age, experience, anything, it's just exposure.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you
right.
had an idea of what we were fighting about in the U.S., and then you came here and you started seeing people's behavior, and you're like, got it, this all checks out. Is that kind of what you're saying?
It kind of made me be more humble and grateful in that sense, have more respect for my own culture, and at the same time be able to appreciate the differences.
Yeah.
Because there's good and bad. Like,
Yeah. Oh, there's contrast in everything. Yeah.
And-
Also, when you find out what you don't like, it just shoots a you in the direction of what you do
Familiarity
better.
breeds
Yeah.
contempt.
Yeah.
So
But
it's
talk
good
about
not to
this,
stay
though.
anywhere too long.
Right.
Talk about this though, because everybody wants to break into that Indian market, either
Right.
India or China market. Now, you know, Digger's lived outside the U.S., so he's in a whole unique area by himself, which I think is fascinating. You lived in that country. You know, CuteBooty is marketing to things outside. We're just starting to reach outside. What do you think about people wanting to get into that Indian market? What do they not know? What do they need to know?
Of course.
Great
and
question.
Just touching on that, it's so interesting. Like, it's such a small world. The place Digger goes to in Nepal. Remember my friend that I was telling you about? Her grandparents live next to Romeo Shrestal.
Oh,
They're
really?
neighbors. So
Yeah. It's a high profile area.
I knew someone and he knew someone and they're kind of connected in that sense. But yeah,
It's funny.
Yeah.
coming back to the Indian market, I feel like internet has become very popular. Now, India wasn't always this advanced country. Even now, it's more advanced than it used to. But like for me, coming here, I'm able to relate to older folks because internet came later on. You know, America had internet, India got it 10 years later. So
Oh,
I'm
man.
able to relate to people who are not my age, but like 10 years older than me. Oh, you have that? Yeah, I used a floppy disk. You know, things like that.
What? Yeah.
Floppy disk.
Floppy disk.
So
What's
in-
that?
It's like the narrative of most like cartoons from the 90s, right?
Yeah,
Floppy disk or spy movies.
right.
Yeah,
So,
I never used those, but I get the idea.
I unfortunately remember them.
Yeah,
Videotape.
you know.
I remember them.
I did this like I was shaking an invisible floppy disk, like nobody would
That's how
understand.
thin they
that
are.
just-
They're very flimsy. I remember those.
But the reason I was asking you that
Yeah,
because when
that-
I think of the brick and mortar brand of Anthony and what you were doing because I saw Anthony giving the idea to the woman. I always look at it this way. I'm always gender empowerment when it comes to stuff. You know, we have 12 co-hosts, they're all women. Now we're starting to kind of balance that with 3. Nick's the next one that we have out of the 3 male co-hosts. So we're off balance. But in general, we're doing okay. But the thing about it is I've always loved the story of how you guys created CuteBooty. Talk about that because here's husband and wife putting things together. The wife might have said, "No, I'm not sure about this." The husband says, "Go for it, darling. It's yours."
Oh,
Would I be
I
right by
love
saying that, Anthony?
supportive spouses. That's the best.
So rare.
So I
really is.
actually I created the brand a long time ago, and it's just so up and down because the reality is I'm a creative person, right? So I get so focused on this and I forget about all of this over here. So we actually met on Tinder 5 years ago.
No way!
Does that
No
actually
way!
Tinder
We
works?
did. We totally
He was
did.
like, I thought you were gonna do the other story.
Not that story.
And
She's telling the truth.
you know,
No, I love that.
at the point where they were falling apart because they were it was preparing itself to be put back together. And he comes from 20 years of branding and marketing, and it was really just such a symbiotic, match made in heaven, because his strengths are my weaknesses and my strengths are his
So
weaknesses.
you dovetail perfectly.
we-
Yeah, I mean, it's
totally do.
definitely
Awesome.
lock and key for sure. Yeah.
Right. It's awesome.
Well, and that makes sense, and I think that's one reason why we started to relay on the phone when I would get him, because I knew you guys were busy, and I'm a patient leaver. I'm going to get anybody eventually, and I will. And one of the great conversations I have with Nick is like, Nick, I'm going to get this person. He's one of the first people I tell, and then I tell the girls. They're like, and then I tell Victoria last because she's like, she'll forget unless I remind
yeah,
her.
I'm like yeah.
But then she's
You
like,
gotta let
what?
me know
And then
beforehand.
she gets here, she knows all the stories or she has things like this, which is interesting. But what was fascinating about you two was it was always about the story. It's just like Digger's story. His story needs to be told more too. But continue this thing because that match is what makes that
You guys
strong
were
brick and mortars together.
Yeah, you were together before that, right? Sorry for interrupting you, Ryan. Were you together before you decided to make the pants?
No, so I created the pants in 2004, but I was so obsessed with being like a big, LA runway designer, like a Sue Wong, like
Yeah.
all these houses, the House of
Yeah.
Versace and Balenciaga, like that was my dream. And when my partner pulled out when the market crashed in 2008, I kind of had to readjust that. I was bartending at the time and my income was only able to pay for certain things, right? So I'm like, okay, if I bartend another shift, I can get another employee, or I can buy this fabric instead of the cheaper
Oh.
fabric. And that's how I gauge things. And CuteBooty was an attainable product to manufacture because it wasn't what I was doing before, the super high-end dresses with the silks. And so I really just started embracing it, and I opened an online store, and I really just did a lot of customs, and I advertised in the little gossip magazines.
Yes.
And you know, I was just barely just chilling. You know, I was just trying to
How
make
much
a name
does
for
that
myself.
cost? Like getting into those
Oh,
magazines.
the magazines. It was anywhere between $600 and $1,800 depending on
Like
what
US?
time of year. Yeah, for Us Weekly, and those are the best places to advertise when you're on a budget. Back then, they don't work anymore, but they get passed around
Yeah.
the nail salon to
Yeah, of course.
this bar to that bathroom to
Now
they
it's
just
like
are always circulating.
AdSense or something.
And now it's all digital.
But I think
Yeah.
I think where we really started to make headway and start to get our name out and the brand out is similar to what Digger was saying. Is you have to get everybody into the room who's not in the room. So you have to reach people that are in other countries. So what we did is we focused on that affiliate influencer type thing, and we took that social media platform and that's what we attacked. So we got a whole bunch of influencers that were everywhere, all across, India, France, Germany, Switzerland, United States, everywhere. And we used them to get the name and the brand out.
Awesome.
Smart. Were you guys using macro influencers or micro influencers?
That's a great question because initially, everybody wants to go with those big, huge whales.
Right.
with
That's not always
10
the best
million.
idea.
It's probably the hardest too if you're a smaller brand.
Especially that was before TikTok, so they were
Exactly.
very expensive.
Yeah, I mean they want $20,000, $30,000 a post, and that's
Yeah.
just not realistic.
Yeah.
So we went the micro influencer route. Women with 10,000 to 500,000 followers, and you get 80 of them, and you give them a couple pairs of pants and a coat, and
You just bombard the internet.
blow
Yes,
up.
you bombard
And
the
they're
internet.
loyal. And
I mean, you're
and they
reaching.
spread the word to other people that spread the word.
And they're so
Yeah.
much more appreciative, and they're so much more engaged with their
Right.
followers.
They want to do a good job.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, I remember when I guess it was about 7 years ago. You know a company called Influential Network?
I've heard of them.
A really amazing guy, a brilliant social media guy. His name is Chris Detter. He invented this. I think it was the first of its kind. The app that would engage with all
Yeah.
the influencers. They put out a campaign. Okay, we're doing a campaign for Nike. Who wants it? Right. So
Oh,
go
yeah.
to whoever was appropriate for that.
So they were the
campaign.
first ones to
Demos.
do that.
I believe so.
That's smart.
I didn't know about anybody else doing it at the time. They did TED. The Mark Wahlberg film about the cursing
Oh, yeah.
bear.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Never
wait,
actually-
What do you mean they did
Oh,
10?
yeah.
Like they.
I never actually saw it because Ted ripped
They
off
did
one
Ted?
of
That's what
my
we're
friend
saying.
created
Oh, so
swear
we're
bears, so
boycotting
I
it.
swore
Okay.
to him I would never
Oh,
go see it in the
Oh,
theaters.
don't plug it.
He will
Swear
not
bears
get
with
my
little bears that press their
mechanicals.
belly and they're like, fuck you, asshole.
Oh my God, that's
So,
amazing.
yeah, it was a great line. So that's really kind of where Ted came from. But they were going to the studios and nobody really got the model. Honestly, they didn't get the model for another 10 years. Because the big studios still are barely understanding what's going on the
Right.
street.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Oh, true.
yeah,
Out of touch.
they're always out of touch,
Right.
So, so they did TED. I don't know how they structured it, so I may be wrong, but I think they did it pro bono, or for a very low amount of money, and TED skyrocketed, and they could see that it was from their engagements on the app, and the rest is history. They've gone on to do amazing things. I brought them in on a few small campaigns. Small campaign meaning like $50,000. Because most of this stuff is $250 and up.
Right.
I don't think they even touch anything for less than $250 now.
Wow.
Or maybe more.
Digger, talk about how you started as a kid. You started as
Yeah, which
would you
thing?
say would you say an artist
Magic
first?
act, the circus. Which
I
thing?
knew it. He's
No,
an
no.
artist, right?
Oh, yeah, he is an artist.
Yeah.
Talk about your first
I can
piece
tell.
that you created as that kid.
What did I create as a kid? Which thing?
See, if I don't tell him, he's got because he's done so much stuff.
It's like so many
He's the
things.
It's like a
producer
blog.
and
It's
like the
grinder.
archive.
The first thing I
That's
ever
it.
created.
Think about the first thing you created that got attention in New York.
Do you really create that many things?
Yeah.
Like he's like, let me
The
go
answer
through my
is yes.
inventory.
Help me
I had
out.
a paper
Give me
route.
a
That was
hint.
about it.
Which thing?
Okay, so the first article that you got written up about you.
Oh, yeah.
See?
The first speaker, it was New York Newsday.
Yep.
Yeah, I created a company called Artistyle, which still is, it has its name on certain things. The brands that I created under Artistyle sucks. The most boring company in the whole world took my exciting brand and
Digger.
fucking milked it to death. So they wanted my select assets. Like when you sell your company, sometimes they really don't want
Right,
your
right.
name. They want your assets,
Right.
right?
Right?
So but I created a few things under Artisan. Mini Mates was one of them. That lives on today. It was really the prototype for everything you see with Lego and Roblox right now. We predated them by years. I'm not bitter. So I'm not bitter that $369 billion isn't mine. But one of them was a Jack-in-the-Box that I created. So it was like a Jack-in-the-Box for the new age. And I was mixing materials and, we were inventing new things. And one day, New York Newsday, we had some industry press, but New York Newsday gave us a call and said they wanted to give us the part 2 headlining spot. And that was really a game changer for us because suddenly we were in mainstream media. It wasn't industry magazines anymore. It's not like it is today with comic books and pop culture where it's everywhere. Right? Back then it was very specific. It was like comics were for comic book people.
They're very niche.
Very niche.
It's
like
become
a cult following,
popularized.
It's a
Very
part of our
popular.
everybody's mainstream life. When I hear, people in the hood talking about the multiverse, I go, wow, we've come a long way.
You made it.
We've come a long way. It's like, well, because I would read about that stuff in sci-fi books that were really obscure when I was a kid.
It was for like the
for
like
nerds. There's
white
people that
kid
didn't
with
get laid.
overgrown hair and acne and like the big glasses and the backpack. Like that.
I was
Now
that
like
kid
the
for a
cool
while.
kids
Yeah.
love. It's like not a nerdy thing. Now it's like a cool thing.
Yeah,
Now they have
absolutely.
giant
Comic-Con.
conventions.
Yeah.
Comic-Con,
But the
everybody's-
interesting
it's
thing
one of the
about
largest
that
expos
is,
there
is
Yeah.
it goes into as you being kind of like that branding guy helping CuteBooty.
I mean, they buy CuteBooty for the same reason, our assets. I mean, that's what it
That's brilliant.
for their assets.
That's brilliant. You hit that mark every time,
You
right?
said it
That's
so
great.
smooth. I just didn't catch it for a second.
Yeah, I
that
mean,
makes sense.
the brand is definitely, the thing we tried to do was set ourselves apart from every other activewear line out there because there are so many, and I think there's like
Kelly, show us
1,000 a
one.
day.
Yeah,
Yours,
so
hers are different.
I didn't bring. I should have brought some more exciting stuff. Now I feel like
I'm excited that you guys are here. That's
I'm
most
excited,
important.
'cause
So I created this pocket in my garage in 2004.
That's
we
nice. Look
now
at that.
have a trademark on it.
That's awesome.
shiny.
It's all about the placement, the sewing, the design of the pattern, the curvature of the butt. It's really a whole experience in a pair of pants. And I know that sounds silly, but because people really don't understand it, women don't understand it until they put it on.
Yeah,
And then
there's a difference.
You
You
see how
can just
excited she
feel
is?
it. You just,
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I get it now.
Right.
And so we have customers who literally have hundreds of orders. Like I just spot check and I see, I'm like, oh wow. As soon as I come out with something new, we release a new product. He's doing the social media for it. Literally, our top 25 customers, they literally buy it within the first hour.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
definitely
What
niche-y.
is the most defining?
Oh, that means that they're
What is the
good
one
pants.
thing that defines your brand?
These
above
right
all else?
here.
It really is a combination. I get the pocket is the most recognizable.
I love
is it the
ruche.
cut-
I love the ruching on the butt because I hate the ones that
Yeah.
look like you're just wearing a diaper.
Yeah, so I'll be
You know what I
honest.
It's the fit.
Yeah, it's the fit. So back in the day, I was obsessed with Juicy Couture. It's
Right.
one of the business models I love. The way they
Back so
think
heavy.
outside the box, the way they're not afraid of color and crazy stuff. And I finally saved the money to buy a pair of pants, and they look like shit. Like, it made my butt look flat. I was always, even though I was thin, I always had a curvy butt and a little bit of hips, and it just really did nothing for me. And I was so disappointed. I just spent $150 on these pants, and they looked horrible on me. So I took them apart. I looked at the problem, and I was just like, oh, well, why is who are they fitting this on? Like, what fit model is like this flat butt that they're fitting
Clothes
this
hangers.
on? Right. So
clothes
I
hanger models.
redid a whole pattern out of wrapping paper because I didn't know there was pattern paper at the time. It's got a 1-inch grid on the back, so I'd measure it out on happy birthday paper on one side and the grid on the other. And I redid the entire pattern, and it fit me like a glove.
Wait. You used wrapping paper?
Yeah.
How? I'm
Well, I mean, pattern paper is essentially just a giant roll of paper, right?
really?
Yeah, but it has a grid on it. But I didn't know that you could go to a store, to a fashion, like a sewing shop, and buy grid paper. I didn't know. I just thought, oh, wow, this wrapping paper has a grid on it. I can make patterns out of this, and I don't have to sit there and measure everything.
Look at you, resourceful.
So, yeah, so all my patterns back in the day was like, happy birthday, Merry Christmas, like
That's silly.
anything I could get from the dollar store that had a grid on it.
That's amazing.
So I fixed the pattern, and then I thought, well, these are boring. You know, I'm just looking, I'm like, that's a basic pair of pants. So I started experimenting with pockets, and I created the scrunch pocket. And I was like, there's still something wrong with it. So I stuck a piece of elastic in the crack.
That is.
And I was like, okay, now the back looks amazing. The front is lacking. So I found these giant grommets, and then I started getting silk charmeuse and making big bow ties out of it. So it was like a package, like a present in the front, and then like booty in the back, and then I was just like,
Present
okay.
in the front.
Business in front. Party in back.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, this is it. I'm onto something here. And so, after 2008, when my partner pulled out, I just really focused on CuteBooty. I transitioned the name of the company from Kelly Nishimoto to CuteBooty Lounge, and
Much better
I
name.
started building up a website and
The website
doing
looks
the online,
really good.
the magazine advertising. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We do everything ourselves.
Do you?
All of the content, all of the photography.
We create
We
content.
do it
Branding is
in-house.
really good.
That's what people
you.
forget is that you guys do everything.
Everything.
Talk about the store that you guys have, because in my mind, I still see this store. I don't see the mall. I just see your store. Talk about how beautiful that store
Okay,
was.
so this one right
It was
here.
so beautiful. I wanted to do a show there. I told
was
her
it
her
was a
help.
gorgeous
I'm gonna do
store.
a show in that pink lounge.
So talk about power of suggestion. When this one has an idea in his head, it literally comes to fruition within like 30 to 60
It's
days.
because I'm a Capricorn.
So he'll be like, oh, maybe we should look into
That
opening.
goat mentality.
We should look into opening a store at the mall. And I'm like, okay, whatever. We'll start looking at spaces. And then the next week he's like, I scheduled us some appointments to look at spaces. And I'm like,
You're like, wow, I thought that was
okay.
hypothetical.
And then next week he's like, I was out of town. He goes, I found us a space. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and sign the lease. I'm like, wait, I'm sorry. I'm like, wait, what? So I come back to this big,
I like
gorgeous
that.
space that he found, and we literally built the store out in 60 days.
It was beautiful.
You're right. It was
Beautiful.
actually really nice. We won an award for brand imagery, which
Did
was
you
great.
really?
And we did the
Yeah,
whole store. It was a
great.
Tory Burch store. We got it
Can't
because
say
of
that. Oh.
They have really
Yeah.
good lighting. Yeah.
we got it because
Yeah,
of
they do.
the mirrors and the glass and the lighting. Obviously we were going to cute bootyfy it because we only had a year lease. It's a short-term lease. We weren't going to dump a ton of money in there. And we walked into this gorgeous space once we got the key, and they had spray painted the entire thing white.
After
Every
you saw
knob, every handle, every mirror, every drawer, it just looked like just white explosion.
It just looked like
It
a
took us.
space.
It took us almost 4 weeks to meticulously.
Well, that was to
scrape-
protect their branding.
To protect
or
their
whatever they
branding,
thought was
right.
their branding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And like, why don't you just rip it out? Like at that point.
You just like weren't expecting that.
No,
Like,
we
you
weren't
thought that
expecting
you were
that
getting
at
the
all.
space
mirrors, and then we were gonna adjust the design based on that.
Really does make a difference when you're doing what you love and it's all
Right.
organic and you're hands-on,
Things you don't know
you
to
know, and
ask.
you're on a mission.
Right.
Right.
I think it turned out
Yeah.
better because he had the genius idea of, instead of painting things and sitting there and taping it all off, he's like, just have the car wrap guys come and wrap it. You can wrap it any
Wait,
color you
what?
want.
Right.
No, so everything.
Did you
in there-
really?
Yeah, we wrapped it with car wrap.
Oh my god! Wait, does anyone have a photo of the store?
I do.
would love
I
to
do.
see it.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
store,
I'll
the store is
pull it up.
beautiful, and I can still
was
see it in my
really-
mind.
The store was
Cute
Booty
Booty
Lounge.
Lounge.
We-
where it was here in Hollywood.
Topanga
West,
Mall.
Westfield,
Oh,
Westfield
right on.
Topanga, right next to Victoria's Secret.
It was
Good
really
location.
Yeah.
Anthony,
Yeah, it
while
was
she's looking
great.
for it, give the social media to Cute Booty.
We are Cute Booty Lounge. Instagram is at Cute Booty Lounge, and that's CUTE Booty BOOTY Lounge.
Nick,
we're
give your social
creeping.
media real quick.
My social media is Nick Brown Music, NIKBROWN Music. That's Nick without the C.
Digger,
Divided.United on Instagram.
that's real easy.
It is.
Victoria,
Victoria Renee Hand. It's my name. It's my name on all of the socials.
Wear
Easy
it out.
peasy.
You should say don't wear it out, but you should say wear
so
it
let me
out.
ask you this:
Do
while
wear
she's
it
looking
out.
for that photo, what do you want to happen between now and the end of the year for Cute Booty?
Us now and the end of the year, I mean, like we always want. We want as many women as possible to hear about the
Yeah.
brand. It's an amazing brand. I mean,
Oh, so cute.
What about guys
Oh,
that
it's like
want
metallic.
curvy butts?
you know, that's funny
I've
that
been
you
really-
asked
I've been looking
that.
at my ass lately, and it's not.
It's
not working
funny that
anymore.
you asked that
Really
because
nice.
we
Sure
at
can.
one point pre-COVID were looking and creating a men's line, and because of COVID, we had to really stay focused on what we're doing and in our advertising for the brand. So, but what we did do is we have just recently implemented some men's underwear, which are focused on the front and back. So business in front, party in the back concept Kelly was
love it.
talking about.
Is that
I need a silicone party in the back.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there is that
This is
stuff going
awesome.
on, but not
You
with
can
us.
scroll.
Yeah.
But-
You see like the metallic on the.
Yeah, so that's car wrap. The
That's
hot pink
car
is
wrap.
car
That
wrap.
makes so much sense.
Dope.
Yeah.
Super dope.
It was a huge
I love this
four-room-
shot of you guys. That's great.
The
I love
inside's
happy
It
amazing.
endings.
was, if you can scroll, there's the inside picture.
Oh, I didn't scroll. I don't know.
But one of the strongest things about this brand, though, is, you know, women wear, you wear leggings everywhere, right?
Yeah, I
Not
work
just
out
the gym.
every day, and I often wear them not in the gym.
Oh, not in
too.
the gym, exactly. That was.
Yeah.
That was
So
our
that's like the
active
biggest
release.
thing is we have 3 levels or 3 styles. Lifestyle, which is go get coffee, run errands, take your kids to
Yeah.
school. We have our active, which is just, you know, it's get after it at the gym. And then we have our elevated, which is you can throw on, you know, jewelry and a nice top and go, you know, out with your husband or your girlfriends or your, you know, whoever.
Yeah.
And then once COVID started, we really started focusing on our loungewear because we just noticed that people they kind of
Staying
stopped
home.
buying the fancy stuff, obviously, and started buying the basics. And so our loungewear really exploded through COVID.
Oh, that makes
Because
so
people
much
aren't going
sense.
out.
Like
Yeah,
comfort
they're just chilling
fashion
out,
is
sitting
really
at
in
home,
style.
gaining
Yeah.
weight.
Yeah, I have more tennis shoes now. That are, yeah, like I putting
know.
jeans on, you're like, oh man, I didn't realize. Like it sneaks right up on you, doesn't
And,
it?
yeah,
Especially
and, you know, jeans, you gain a little weight, they don't fit anymore.
that's what,
Leggings,
yeah.
Yeah,
I
for
know.
sure.
I appreciate that little stretch.
All right, we got 2 minutes. All right, what do you want people to tune in coming up for the first couple shows for Divided United?
Who do we have?
Yeah, talk about who
Yeah,
we have.
we have Retha Gray. She's an amazing actress. She's been around. She was on Betty White's Off Their Rockers. I have Heather Blair, who is an amazing woman. She's got a company called Women in Exhibition, and she's worked in just about every facet of box office and entertainment.
She knows everything.
She knows everybody. Yeah, it's amazing.
Talk about a couple of people coming up.
Bill Sienkiewicz, David Mack,
David Vonner.
David Vonner. Yeah, our co-hosts, Geisha Montez, David Vonner, Jenna Red. She's a well-known DJ. She's been all over the place, all over the world.
Cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Maya DiGiorgio, who's an amazing comedian. She's got a. She's I went to
known
school
as
with
$1 Million
her. I
Maya.
don't want to give her age away because we're the same age. She'll get mad at me. But yeah, she's been around for a long time. She's an incredible comedian.
Oh, I love comedians.
Social media
too.
links one more time.
Divided.United.
Nick,
At Nick Brown Music, Nick without the C.
how do people reach out to you though? What do you want them to know about you?
Oh, if you guys need any help with branding, marketing, and I would love to connect with you guys for it, because yeah, your brand is awesome. The work that you guys done from an aesthetic standpoint.
Thank you.
And the story.
Hey,
Right.
we need to get them into more of India, don't we?
Yeah.
We
And
might as
there
well,
are
right?
Strategies to do that. I feel like it's something that's on the come up. So definitely, yeah. So yeah, that kind of stuff. Marketing, social media, journalism, and music. I DJ as well. I just
What? Nick's a
Aw,
DJ.
Right.
And Kelly,
Very talented guy.
Yeah, so my personal Instagram is at Kelly Nishimoto, and then CuteBooty is CuteBooty Lounge, cutebooty.com. What do we have coming up, babe? We have so much coming up. This is a year of growth for us.
We have a lot coming up. I mean, we have some stuff coming up in Atlanta. We have a big, huge launch and release coming out there. We can't really say a whole lot of names. but
Yeah, we're
We,
still.
basically, there ain't no booty like a cute booty.
oh, I love
Ain't
that.
that the truth?
That's a great line.
Ain't that the
Victoria,
truth? Yeah, Victoria Renee, hand.
wait a minute, you
Victoria
got a
Renee
Christmas
music.
album
I
coming
got-
out, right?
I know, hand, like the appendage. Yeah, I've got a Christmas album coming out. I've got some new releases. Leaving straight from here to go do.
See, if I don't
something I'm
remind
excited
her,
about.
she's gonna forget.
No, but also me and Carl over here, a producer
That's right.
behind the scenes. I don't know if you guys can see him, but we did a couple. We did a couple bangers
I
the
heard.
other night. I'm pretty excited about it. I think we might have a single on our hands too.
Oh.
That's
Yeah.
good. All right, so with
another
that,
single.
I think we might have to have a part 2 eventually. I'll see if we can get everybody back together. Please check out coming soon the next couple weeks, Divided United. See what's happening with Nick, obviously, because he's going to be creeping up. Like I said, he's going to be a creeper, Victoria.
He's a
And
creep.
obviously, you got to go on
Hey.
Cute Booty because I will even wear Cute Booty stuff because I just love how it's made. I love the story, and it's always about the story when it comes to telling about people how they are. It's small businesses always need to be supported.
Yes.
That's the most important thing about that.
But also,
and
it's a great product.
we will always support Victoria,
Yeah.
obviously, because she's one of
Thank
our
you.
co-hosts. By the way, she has 1.7 million views and counting because of all the shows that she's been on.
Nice.
And as I say with everybody, as I leave you, If you see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours. The world needs it. I'm Brian Sebastian, movie reviews and more, and we will see you next week.